Hello, hip hop heads and horror fans. This is your host, Octoberz. Welcome to my video blog, Nightmare on Sedgwick Avenue, where I do music and movie reviews. Today, I'm going to do actually a horror series review. It's none other than American Horror Story Season 10, Part 1, Red Tide. Just letting you know ahead of time for those who have not seen Part 1 yet and finished it because it just concluded last week, Episode 6. Do not watch this because I am going to have a lot of spoilers in here. If you want to hear the spoilers, then continue on. Just beware, letting you guys know right off the bat. So let's get into it. Actually, just wanted to show here my Fright Night horror t-shirt right here. Shout out to Toxic Coffin. They have a dope t-shirt and horror business, so check them out. But just wanted to shout that out because I love Fright Night, one of my favorite horror vampire movies from all time, and I thought it was fitting having to wear this, talking about American Horror Story Season 10, Part 1, Red Tide, because it goes into that. If you've seen the trailers when they were doing the promo, they showed that it's going to be a double feature is what the season's called, because it's divided into two parts in the anthology series. So Part 1 is Red Tide. They kind of hinted at vampires. And then Part 2, that's going to start next week, they hinted at aliens, which I've been waiting for that season since Season 2 of Asylum. For those that have seen it, they hinted at aliens since that season, and I always wanted to see them, and they just kept making all these seasons, and I'm mentioning aliens, and I was kind of getting pissed off, but hopefully now that's connected to Asylum. We will see. But today I'm going to talk about Red Tide, Part 1. So I'll get into a little bit of the characters first. I'll play the trailer too, so you guys can get like a synopsis of what the Part 1 is about and was about. So, and actually I really loved it. So here we go. So Evan Peters comes back. I love Evan Peters. Honestly, like he's been robbed from like Golden Globes and Oscars because he's just like a phenomenal actor in my opinion. All his characters, he like does a great job. I was kind of a little bit disappointed in this season just because I didn't see him a lot, and he had some hilarious scenes in some of the episodes, but I thought he deserved more, but you know, they're trying to give maybe everybody a chance. So we see Evan Peters as Austin Summers. He's a writer, and we kind of see his backstory, being drag queen, patio furniture, which I thought was hilarious. We also get Sarah Paulson as TB Karen. She's a painter, a drug addict, complicated character, but we'll talk about her in a bit. We also get Lily Rabb as Doris. She's the wife of Harry, who's played by Finn Wittrock, I believe is last name, how you pronounce it. You also get Frances Conroy, who plays Belle. You get Leslie Grossman, who plays Harry's publicist, Ursula. You also get Angelica Ross, who plays the chemist who creates the muse pills, is what they're called. Macaulay Culkin, of course, Mr. Home Alone, plays Mickey. And Ryan Kiera Armstrong, who plays the I don't even know how to put this, but Alma, little girl that you are going to hate in the series. She's the daughter of Harry and Lily Rabb, Doris's character. So we'll get into it real quick. So just the premise of it, like I said, the promo was a lot about like vampires, and I kept getting like the Shining vibes mixed with like Salem's Lot. Just the way they filmed it, it takes place like in an island. And pretty much like main character is Harry, who is a screenwriter, I guess you can say. And he's been having a lot of writer's block, so he decides to go to this isolated town to kind of get his creative juices going, but he can't seem to do it, and he's just frustrated. He moved his family with him, his daughter and his wife, and they're about to have a newborn. So that's in the mix, and then it's just kind of like a creepy vibe, creepy town. You start seeing like these creatures that look like, again, like that vampire from Salem's Lot. I forget, Kurt Barlow is the main antagonist from Salem's Lot. A lot of those creatures look like him pretty much, or like Nosferatu. You're trying to see like, what the hell, what are they, where do they come from? So before I get into that, that's pretty much kind of like the premise. There's these other creatives that live in the town, or that just go there during like the winter to get some creative juices going, and then they go back and all of a sudden they're like super creatives making bank and shit like that. So let's watch the trailer, and then we'll go from there. So here we go.
Can't believe we're doing this. I never thought I'd get you out of the city.
There's Harry and his wife. And his
I think
daughter,
this is gonna
evil
be the
daughter,
perfect place to
Alma.
work without distraction.
I've been coming out here to write for a few years now. This place inspires us.
I could really use some of the inspiration you guys have on tap. I'm facing some serious writer's block.
That won't last long. Trust me.
Something weird is going on here, and I want to know what it is.
There's nothing more addictive than success. You tasted it now. You're never going to be able to live without it.
We are not safe here.
It takes pain to make beautiful things.
I'm trying to keep this family together under very difficult circumstances.
All right, so there you go. There's the trailer or promo in a nutshell. So as it unfolds, pretty much we find out that a lot of these creative writers, painters, all these people that are just creative in whatever they do, they're taking these pills. They're called muse pills. And as I mentioned, Angelica Ross plays the chemist. She created these pills, kind of like testing them out. So she starts giving them to people. They kind of have an episode, I believe it's episode 2 or 3, where they kind of go back to her story and how the pills were created. She's a chemist. It's really experimental type of drug. But pretty much what it does is, if you're truly talented, a creative, it pretty much, if you're having what's called a writer's block, I heard from a rapper, I think it was Locksmith, who said there's no such thing as writer's block. It's just you have to kind of open that part of your mind, because sometimes maybe you have writer's block, but it technically is it's yourself that something's holding you back from writing or expressing what you truly want to say, and it's just your mind kind of playing with you. But pretty much in this series, Harry is just having a hard time writing, and he comes across Austin Summers, who's played by Evan, and Belle, who's played by Frances Conroy, and they kind of befriend him supposedly, and he invites him to his house. Evan Peters' character tells him about these pills. Pretty much, like I said, the pills is, if you're truly creative and talented, it'll pretty much allow you to pretty much just express yourself, be the most creative. You just have all this inspiration all of a sudden, and you just can't stop. The only thing, like I said, nothing's free in this world. You have to give to take, or give to take, whatever. So pretty much what happens is, if you are creative and stuff like that, again, it'll allow you to inspire you, and you'll write and all this stuff, but at the cost of you having to drink blood, pretty much. So you become kind of like a vampire. And that's kind of how you feed the hunger that you feel after taking the pill. If you're not creative, not talented, you turn into one of those creatures from Salem's Lot, pretty much. You lose your hair, you become like a monster. It's pretty sad. So as you can kind of guess, so Harry obviously is creative. He starts writing all these scripts. He starts getting all these offers for movies and stuff like that from his publicist. His wife wants to move away just because she's creeped out by all the creatures. Of course, that's kind of creepy, like how people don't even say shit about it, but these creatures come out at night. They're just there, and it's just creepy as fuck. Then the daughter, she's a character. I just tell you that. She's evil, but she kind of makes sense. And so she's a little, I guess, prodigy. She wants to play the violin, be the greatest violinist, and she sees that her dad takes the pills and what they do. So she decides to take one. And of course, she is talented. So the dad finds out, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? But at the end, the little girl manipulates him and convinces him to like let her keep taking the pills, but with one condition, that he'll get the food for her, which obviously, like I said, they have to consume blood to be able to feed that hunger, because that comes at a cost. The pill is just like nothing comes for free. So the little girl kind of starts telling the dad, like, why do they need the mom? The mom's pregnant. At this point, she hasn't given birth yet. She says, like, like she's normal. She's not meant to be great like us, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, like I think in episode 4 or 5, Lily Rabadors gives birth to the baby. Harry has lied to her, said that they were going to move out of the town, but they didn't. They're still there. So when he brings her back home, they're still at the town. She kind of freaks out because she wakes up in the middle of the night and she sees like her daughter sucking on her newborn baby brother's like foot and shit, and fucking creepy as fuck. Harry tries to tell her that, it's like she's hallucinating, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much the daughter's the only one that's like honest enough to tell her the truth of what's going on, that they've taken these pills, what happens. And Alma, of course, being a kid and just an evil genius, I guess, convinces the mom to take the pills. But knowingly, she knows that her mom is not talented. The mom is like a designer, but she's not really, I guess, great at what she does, from what we see throughout the series of what they mention about her and stuff like that. So she somehow manipulates her mom to take the pill to join them. But we all know that she's not talented and she's going to end up turning to those creatures, which that's what happens. Harry at first is like pissed off at the daughter, like, why did he do that? Like, why did she convince her? Like, she knew, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, from there, Harry realizes, like, she was holding me back. So instead of doing what I would have thought would have been best, like a mercy killing, no, they put a code on her and they just let her walk out the door and join the rest of the creatures, which was fucking sad. But anyways, so from there, we also have, again, TB Karen, played by Sarah Paulson. She's a painter, but she's like a drug addict. She's also, even though she says she's never going to take the muse pill because she doesn't want to be a monster, technically she is a monster too, because she steals newborn babies for Belle. And Belle loves eating babies just because they are more pure. Their blood is more pure. She gets more inspiration from them. That's hence why Alma was sucking on her baby brother's like leg. And they tend to have, like, I guess, give them more creative juices, if you want to put it that way. So Belle is addicted to eating babies. So TB Karen goes ahead and gets them for her. So technically she's not as innocent as she says either. And I think she feels that guilt as well. But she does that kind of for her own protection, because what Belle says is, as long as she keeps supplying her with babies, she'll protect her, because those creatures don't attack the creatives. And again, the chemist was the one that was testing these out, giving it to people, just anybody. She was actually using Macaulay Culkin's character to spread the word, and she was just giving them to anybody because she kind of wanted to test people and see like what was the reactions of her pill. And Belle and Austin also were, some of them, they turned out to be creatives, but then there's some that were not talented and they turned into those monsters. So she was keeping notes, and Mickey never actually took the pill. He would just kind of give it out to people. But then I think in episode, I want to say 5, I can't recall, he ended up taking it, and he pretty much is a creative. He was afraid that he wasn't, but he was. So for me, I really love this season. Sorry I mentioned a lot of spoilers, but like I mentioned in the beginning, if you haven't seen it, I said there was going to be spoilers. I really love this season. Me, myself, being a creative, being a songwriter, doing content, my vlog series, moving into movie directing, all that stuff, I can really relate to this season. I really loved it. The fact that they touched on how far a creative would go if you're having like what's called like a writer's block. And actually I can relate to that even more now, because I had that these last couple weeks, kind of gotten out of that. But as a creative, I think we tend to be hard on ourselves sometimes when we're not creating. At least that's how I am with myself, and I've been trying to like be aware of that and try to take it easy. But when I'm not creating something, I feel kind of like sad, low-key kind of depressed, just because I'm not creating and I feel like I need to be doing something. So I get Harry his character and his desperation of wanting to write something and he can't. So at his last desperation, he ends up taking the pill, and he ends up not caring about the consequences, which lead to, him losing his wife, his kid turning into like this evil genius and all this shit. And at the end, I won't give that away, but pretty much he kind of sold his soul and there's no turning back type of thing. And it's pretty much asking you the question, like, how far will you go as a creative to, to be successful, or whatever you call success, because everybody has a different definition of success. It's subjective. But I just thought it was a really deep season. I really loved it. The ending, I wasn't too happy about it, just because I thought that it was kind of abrupt. I did love one of the scenes at the end. Leslie Grossman, the publicist, Ursula, she's ruthless as fuck too. She kind of pretty much partners up with the chemist to get these pills out in the LA market to pretty much be able to make money off her own clients. And even if they're not successful, she's still kind of making some money out there. So there's something she says about like talent and success and how far you will go. And I really loved what she says. But yeah, like some people, like I said, are willing to sell their soul for it. Me, myself, I would not take the muse pill, just because what it comes with it, nothing's free, like I said. Another thing that I didn't really like about the ending, it was episode 5. TB Karen actually ends up taking the pill to try to save herself, pretty much. Mickey kind of puts her in a tough position. She paints something and we never actually get to see the painting, which was, I guess, maybe kind of like Inception, where it leaves it to the end, like for interpretation, like, was she truly talented or was she not? I choose to think that she was, but she just didn't want to. She knew that she would become more of a monster than she already was. At least that's what I think. But other than that, I'll leave it at that. I will, like I said, show the clip at the end, so it's a major spoiler again. If you haven't seen it, do not continue. But hopefully, I'm just doing this for review purposes, and I wanted to show that last clip before we get out of here. Let me know what you guys thought about the series, part 1, Red Tide. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I loved it. The ending, wish it could have been a little bit different, but other than that, I did enjoy it. I love it, and I'm really excited to see part 2. About the aliens and see what happens. But let's watch this last clip here and we'll go from there. So right here is LA after the aftermath of what happens when the pills
Looks like the streets are running red with blood and metaphors. At least all of those no-talent monsters are taking their pain out in a real way. Being great is hard. The rest of us just don't get it. We drive ourselves crazy with envy, longing for just a taste of the delicious madness of the creative mind. But the truth is, most people aren't willing to put in the work. They focus on the success, the notoriety, the wealth that their great piece of art will bring, but the journey there is tedious. And those that achieve greatness only do so because they are fucked up enough to push through the pain and failure it takes to reach your potential. At least with these pills, the world can find out if you're any good.
Sorry, baby. Shh, don't.
All right, I just let it at that right there. But yeah, so what she said is it's pretty deep, pretty, some of it is pretty truthful. Like I said, I wouldn't sell my soul type of shit for notoriety or success. Like I said, success is subjective. To me, is about being able to make art, whatever it may be, whether it's music, movies, all that, but being able to have a stable living and be able to help my loved ones and friends. And that's enough for me. For other people, it's fame or whatever. Like I said, it's subjective, but really deep. I love that ending as far as like what she said. But like I said, there's a little things here and there that I would have changed. Yeah, let me know again what you guys thought about it. If you guys enjoyed this season so far, part 1, Red Tide. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed my review of it. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would be appreciated. And whenever you're watching this, have a great weekend or weekday. Peace.